Good evening and welcome to Lakewood's 18th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. I'm Mayor Don Anderson. On behalf of the Lakewood City Council, I'd like to thank you for joining us this evening. 2020 was a tumultuous year to say the least, when current events and social unrest highlighted historical injustice and persistent flaws that cloud the American experience, all draped under the stress of a global pandemic. We should all strive to learn from it and improve. We should also remind ourselves to avoid divisive identity politics from both the left and the right that would seek to drive a wedge between us, advanced by those seeking money, power, or attention. For what we need to do is work together as a community to resolve society's vexing issues. A cornerstone of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's fight for equality was unity, the idea that we needed to come together as a people if anything is to be accomplished. The words he spoke over 50 years ago still ring true today. We must all learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools. Thanks again for joining us today. And now I'd like to introduce Elder Larry Woods to lead us in the invocation.
Lord God, may we come together today in a unique way for a great purpose. As we honor the life, ministry, and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his words from a Birmingham jail are more appropriate today than ever. He stated, "An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." He reminds us that only love can conquer hate, and all of our lives are mutually tied together. Let us live up to his life and legacy, and your word spoken through the prophet Micah in chapter 6 and verse 8 of his book. He has shown you, O man, what is good and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. As we see the example set by Martin, encourage us all the more to live out justice for everyone, mercy and kindness for everyone. As your love reigns, justice is strengthened. The life, legacy, and message of Martin be honored by our lives and actions led by you. Amen.
Lift Every Voice and Sing is a song written as a poem by James Weldon Johnson at the dawn of the 20th century, a time in American history that marked the turn of a century and an ongoing journey in pursuit of liberty and justice. The poem, later named the Negro National Anthem by the NAACP, and today referred to as the Black National Anthem, is very fitting for the collective fight and advancement for liberty and justice for our most historically marginalized people.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Sing with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let every sound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us. Facing the rising sun as our new day begun. Let us march on till victory's won.
My name is Ron Banner, and I am the proud superintendent of the Clover Park School District. Thank you to the many community partnerships and many diverse voices that organize this virtual event. Since the city's last Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration in February of 2020, I have witnessed heartbreaking inequities and injustices locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. The theme of today's event is extremely fitting. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. While it is both proper and exhausting to talk about all of the woes in our society, I think it is vital to our mission to eliminate injustice, to spend time celebrating, remembering, and honoring. So today, in remembrance of the work and the legacy of Dr. King, I want to give honor to the students in the Clover Park School District. As a district and community, we are committed to elevating and empowering your voices. You represent not just our future, but the urgency of our work. Keep sharing your voice, keep pushing for change, and continue to foster hope as we dream for a better today, a today that is more unified, more loving, more compassionate, more joyous, and more just. Thank you all for attending today's virtual presentation. And now we are happy to hear from our keynote speaker, Denice Randle.
Hello, City of Lakewood. My name is Denice Randle, and I am the Executive Director of Peace Community Center, located in the hilltop of Tacoma, Washington. I am so excited to have each of you with us today as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Our theme for this year's event is Injustice Anywhere is a Threat to Justice Everywhere. I would like to start by thanking the City of Lakewood and also the Dr. Martin Luther King Committee for inviting me to be here with you all today. I think it's important that you all know a little bit more about me and my background and ties to the City of Lakewood. I am a homeowner in the City of Lakewood. I'm also from Joint Base Lewis McChord. My family grew up on the military base. And so I have had the great privilege of graduating from Woodbrook Middle School, Lakes High School. I was the first recipient of the Act 6 Leadership and Scholarship Initiative, where I was able to attend Whitworth University. I earned a BA in English Language Arts, and then I came back to Tacoma, where I earned a master's in education. I am so excited to be able to just share with you all a little bit about my journey as a community member, as I've been tasked today to share, as a community leader, what suggestions would I offer to help ensure that in the City of Lakewood, we pursue liberty and justice for all. When I think about our community, my home, a place that I love, a place that I have just grown to cherish as a military student and just growing up around in this area. One of the things that I really think about, if I could be so bold as to change a little bit of Dr. Martin Luther King's words, it would be to say, injustice anywhere in me is a threat to justice everywhere. As I have navigated community and as I have navigated spaces, nothing has stood out to me more than recognizing the impact that I have as an individual on community. So a lot of times we can think injustice, and there's a lot of injustices that we know that are happening within our criminal justice system, within our community, nationally, locally, that we can think about. But we don't often think about the injustices and how we as individuals, how we engage with one another, how we connect with one another can drive towards a more just space and community. And that is where I would have a call to action for us as residents of the City of Lakewood today. So again, I say, injustice anywhere in me, thinking about myself, okay, is a threat to justice everywhere. As I have really thought about my own culture and identity and who I am as a person, and the pride that I have in thinking about where I've come from within my own family and just culturally, and where I am today, different privileges that we have that didn't exist before. If you think about women being able to vote, people of color, and the advancements that we have within our community, when I think about that, I have just so much pride and celebration. And that causes me to also want to learn more about others within my community. and to want to learn more about folks who do not look like me, who do not share my cultural background and my experiences. And it drives me to want to know more. Tell me your story, tell me your experiences. And through that process of learning more about their experiences and me sharing mine, we're able to build a deeper understanding that drives me to fight for justice, not only within my own community, but for those around me. So I say to you again, injustice anywhere in me is a threat to justice everywhere. We all know that anytime we're engaged in community, and there's diversity within community, that diversity comes with diverse points of views and perspectives, thoughts, ideologies, and sometimes there's conflict that comes out of that, right? And what I like to say is that that's healthy conflict, because through that process, we have the opportunity to learn and grow. We can learn and grow about ourselves, strengthen what we believe, but it's also important that we learn and grow in the understandings of others. And it's through that process, in that diversity, and those differences of opinion, and learning how to understand other people, that we're able to recognize, wow, I might be carrying something in there within me that I didn't know was there. But by having those conversations, we're able to identify them and say, you know, I don't want to be that type of person. I want to be open-minded. I want to be compassionate. I want to seek to understand when I'm in a conversation with another person. And each of those experiences drive us as a community closer towards justice. What's our theme? Injustice anywhere in me is a threat to justice everywhere. So when we talk about having a more just community, the justice within our community is going to be driven not only by what we know of our own selves, not only what we learn from other communities around us and other individuals and people, but how quick we are to move to act on behalf of the injustices when they are seen. And I'm not saying that you have to, go do something grand and big. It's in the everyday small gestures, seeking to show grace, seeking to have mercy, seeking to, again, understand in conversation and build relationship, building up one another as opposed to tearing one another down. Those are the small everyday actions that we can make commitments to within our own selves that drives towards greater justice within our community. I want to thank you all so much for your time today. I want to thank you for your commitment to the life and legacy and celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We have the great opportunity to live out his legacy on a day-to-day basis. So while we are taking a moment in time to celebrate his life and legacy in this moment, right now and today, please let it transcend throughout this month, throughout the rest of this year, and for years to come. How will you seek to grow in your understanding of self, understanding of others, and then empower yourself to make the moves to stand up to injustice? And it's the everyday moves that will make a big difference, that will shape our community. Thank you all so very much.
We will now be hearing from some of our Clover Park School District students.
Here in the Lakewood community, we have moved from equality to equity. We have realized that our differences are beautiful. We as the youth need to be the first in places of leadership. This is how we as a community will move progressively forward.
Words of encouragement I would give to the community is being honest and open to one another. Personally, I feel like being honest and open to someone in a positive way will help the community grow as one.
I would like to see festivals in the park, maybe sports games, anything that celebrates diversity is awesome.
Some events that I would like to see in our schools and our communities are celebrations where people get to bring or cook food that really represents them and their culture. I think this really allows other people to see where they come from. I also think that sharing their traditions allows people to feel a sense of security and ensures trust between the community.
I love the idea of encouraging recognition for individuals who may not speak English, such as having volunteers or translators to read a poem line after line, one language in the next, to encourage those from all backgrounds to take a part in a cultural celebration by recognizing their past, how they communicate best, and who they are as unique individuals.
At this time, we'll be hearing from some of our local community members.
Greetings, Lakewood. My name is James Kim. I'm one of the pastors here at the Little Church on the Prairie in Lakewood Grace, and it is with great privilege and honor that we get to share with you in the celebration of the life and the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In this season of the global COVID pandemic, the economic turmoil, and our continued struggle for justice and for racial equality, don't forget the engine that drives our calling for change. It isn't anger, it isn't frustration, it's love. For love is the only thing that can change people. Hate cannot change people. Only love can do that. Frustration cannot change people. Only love can do that. Anger cannot change people. Only love can do that. Lakewood, let love shine through our people, through you. And when love shines, justice follows.
Hi, my name's Mike Zaro, Chief of the Lakewood Police Department. I would first like to thank the MLK Event Committee for allowing me to be a part of the event today. My message today is one of progress through unity. Progress towards civil rights, progress towards justice, and progress towards equality, and achieving those goals as a united community.
The Asia Pacific Cultural Center has been a strong supporter of the community with our very diverse and inclusive programs. We look forward to continuing the relationship between the City of Lakewood. Lakewood has been a strong supporter of Asia Pacific Cultural Center.
50 years ago, Martin Luther King said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." I encourage you all, counteract any injustice you find today by helping those in need. Assist at places like the Rescue Mission, food banks, Habitat for Humanity, your church. The actions you take to help those in need speak louder than any unjust act, word, or deed.
By law, we are entitled to be treated equal. However, our society today does not follow that law. As a community leader, I will continue to promote community safety. Let's work together, build bridges, celebrate our cultures, and together we can make a difference in Lakewood.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That has been our theme this year here in the city of Lakewood. We are celebrating that wonderful national holiday, Martin Luther King. The holiday was established November 3rd, 1983, and it was signed into full law by President Reagan. When we talk about the national holiday, which is the third Monday in January, it's a day on, not a day off. Yes, schools are closed, business are shut down, but it's a day on for community service. It is what Dr. Martin Luther King wanted us to have as part of his dream. When we hear the word community, if you dissect it, you find the word unity. And that's what we've done today. You have heard voices from our elders, from community leaders, even our youth, our next generation. It's all about how do we make community a very special place here in the city of Lakewood. It's about working together. It's about honoring the diversity that we have in the city. It's about knowing that everyone here in Lakewood is a special person. I'd like to take a moment just to summarize a little bit about our human family and share with you a poem by Maya Angelou. I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious and some of us thrive on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, and others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tones, oh my goodness, they confuse, bemuse, delight. Brown, beige, black, and white. I have sailed the 7 seas and I've stopped at every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, yet not one common woman or common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and Mary Jane, but none of them you see are really quite the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe. Hey, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China, we weep on English moors, and laugh and moan in Guinea, and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, are born and dine in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in major we're the same. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type, but we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. True words from the poet Maya Angelou. And right here in the city of Lakewood, we are more alike than we're unalike. We have so much common ground, but the diversity that we have makes us unique and brings that spice to our community. So as we close our program today celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King and the national holiday, please be reminded it's a day on, not a day off. It's a day for community service. And I want to just share something with you. We've got to take the voices that we heard today to action. So I want you to think about this. VTA, Voices to Action. What are you going to do here in the city of Lakewood to make a difference? You can raise your voice, but take that voice to action. Volunteer, donate, mentor a child, help somebody out. It's a day of community service, and it's been a wonderful day for us to celebrate here in the city of Lakewood.
We as a community have a role to play to make Lakewood a better place. Let us now focus on making Lakewood a better place for all citizens.